So here's the thing, guys. I have some secrets about games, mostly about games. There might be some other secrets, but that's for another time. Secret number one really isn't a secret, just more kind of maybe a startling revelation, but I hate Stardew Valley. There is a lot in that game that just doesn't work for me. I've tried several times. My Steam playtime says that I have 20 hours on this game, and it's a lot of restarts, a lot of frustration, a lot of uninstalls and then reinstalls. I think what it is that it's the clock. The clock in Stardew really stresses me out, and I play games to relax, chill out, not feel the pressures of time, mostly to escape from time. It's kind of like micro Vegas, and Stardew does not fulfill that for me. I get very stressed out about the time management in the game, in addition to the stamina / energy management. Those two things combined make it pretty rough. I also really dislike the fishing, and I understand that the fishing for Stardew is a love it or hate it kind of thing. Talking to many of my gaming friends who do love Stardew Valley. I've even tried it with the controller. It is marginally better, but it's a game that I just think to play keyboard first. That being said, for some reason, Steam keeps recommending to me every day other games that are farming and life sims like Stardew Valley, just because of that dang 20 hours, and I never bothered to tell Steam to stop using this game for recommendations. I should like these kinds of games because I like similar games. Going all the way back to Animal Crossing on the GameCube, that is a game that weirdly sucked me in for days and hours at a time. I would have friends that would come over to my place that would have to actually come collect me in person for like going out to dinner or drinks or whatever, because I was so caught up in all of the little micro activities that exist in the original Animal Crossing. I liked the most recent Animal Crossing, though I kind of ran out of things to do eventually. But there is just something that is deeply satisfying about being able to kind of shut down your brain a little bit while also creating a beautiful space in a game. I love survival and base building games, community management games. All of these things make it seem like I should enjoy something that's a casual life and farm sim like Stardew Valley. And like anyone else, I do thirst for some video game characters. So it just seems like the life sim aspect really should have grabbed me. So because I feel this constant guilt about Stardew Valley, even though there are plenty of other life and farming sims out there, like going all the way back, Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons, I feel this really big guilt about not enjoying Stardew Valley. That is the secret. Disliking Stardew Valley, no secret. Guilt over not liking it, that is the secret. So I thought it would be good of me, maybe penance or atonement for uninstalling Stardew Valley, that I would try some of these games that Steam recommended to me in the casual farming sim, life sim category. And I found one that I love a lot. And so what I want to talk to you about and share and reveal my secret is that I love Coral Island. If if you know me or you follow along on my Twitch or see some of these other videos that I share here on YouTube, you're probably wondering, how does this person get into something like Coral Island? You know, this person who I've shared in a podcast previously that my top 5 games are like by playtime are shooters mostly. There's Escape from Tarkov and Overwatch 2 made it into the top 5. But then you've got things like Conan Exiles, base building. It kind of makes sense. It kind of works. And Coral Island, believe it or not, in my opinion, really fits in there. The first thing that really struck me about Coral Island was the character creation. I thought it was so interesting to see the diversity of player that I could make. Here I ended up going with a vaguely androgynous character that I'm using dual pronouns for these MX pronouns and calling Jadson instead of just Jade. So I did this because I liked the idea of not necessarily being traditionally female represented in this world, even though I'm all pro female representation in video games. But I'm also did it a little bit for my own, I guess, quiet, secret way of LGBTQ plus representation, because I am bi. It is pretty invisible, but I don't know, I just felt like it made me be able to slip into this world a little bit better. I don't know why. That was just my brain at the time of making this. Anyway, moving on. I just thought that the character diversity in the creation screen was very cool. Understanding that Stardew Valley is a little bit older game at this time. It first came out in 2016. So these are not things that are necessarily in the front of developers' minds at that time. You know, they just want to make a game that lets you kind of make your little pixel self. Character creation that I enjoyed was recognizing that these are adult-aged characters. So many of the games in this genre make very young-looking characters, and adults play games. And I want to play a game that looks like an adult most of the time. But then when I got into Coral Island, I was really struck by the beauty of the island, the major diversity of the citizens of Coral Island, which is not something that I think I see or encounter in many games, let alone farming and life sim games. Look at these people. There's so many colors and shapes and sizes and just so many people on this island. And as I spent more time here, getting to know everyone and talking to everyone, they are very deeply connected to each other. So it is one of the most alive feeling sims that I've encountered or played. You talk to people and realize that, you know, this guy is so-and-so's cousin or brother or sister-in-law or these are their kids, and everyone interacts with each other in this way that really makes sense for a life sim. It's very immersive. The relationships are so in-depth. I've thought several times about making a spreadsheet to keep track of who's related to who's friends with who, because people hang out. Everyone goes down to the local tavern in the evening to hang out, or you'll find them playing volleyball together on the beach. So there are real friendships here. There are real family relationships. I really loved it. Also, the fishing is great. I love the fishing in this game. It makes sense. It's not complicated. I hate slider bar fishing. Cult of the Lamb also uses this slider bar feature. I don't understand it. I don't get why. This simple, tension mechanic just works. It just works for me, works for my brain. Coral Island, it's just a beautiful game. It's just a beautiful game and beautiful island. It's very lovingly under development, currently in early access. We just had a major update that added more animals to the farm, more crops. There's also the greatest thing that I enjoy doing is diving in this game. This is not your Animal Crossing diving, which is slow and less exciting less exciting visually than what I was expecting when that announcement came out. Coral Island diving is everything I wanted in Animal Crossing diving. I am actually here in the water. I mean, look at this. Look at everything that's around. And the biggest thing about Coral Island, I know you're wondering, I forgot to touch on this earlier, but the biggest thing is that in addition to being this farming and life sim that you think to yourself, like, oh, okay, what is it? What's the real hook here? What can they do that's different? They have introduced an environmental stewardship message within the game. So instead of fighting just big corporations who want to come over and take our jobs, this is introducing this corporation, Pufferfish, that is here to do offshore oil drilling. And in the real world, for island nations, climate change is more present in their minds, and so because any rise in sea level directly affects the available land mass that they have to live on. And so to introduce this company, Pufferfish, that's here to take advantage of a recent tanker oil spill, I guess it was like a couple years ago, that the island is still struggling to clean up from because they're just not getting a lot of help. Pufferfish wants to come in and do this offshore drilling and claims that it's good for everyone for the benefit of the town. So then having to being confronted with that real economic reality of provide jobs for everyone, right? Through the island becoming a place to provide housing and tourism and whatnot, or to balance that with how do we best care for the land around us. I was really taken aback by that being in my game, and I really appreciated it, especially because going around and cleaning up trash, both above ground and underwater, is actually a very satisfying activity. So you have like this little passive trigger of feeling good about cleaning up. Hopefully it encourages people to look more closely at the world around them and translate those actions into real change for the real world, so that way we can all continue to survive and live here and enjoy these beautiful games. But that being said, aside from this amazing message that is running as the undercurrent of this whole game, there's also a whole other mystery, and I'm anxiously awaiting each new update to this early access, because there's a whole kingdom and civilization that exists here under the ocean. And you can see here where there's some merfolk that I've met who need to go and report back on my activities. And there's also this sign. There's a sign for Starlit Town that's under the water, but we are Starlit Town above the water. So I'm very curious to see, once this area gets unlocked, like who lives here, how the story continues to evolve. The story is just immediately more interesting to me than the Stardew story or of the several other games that I've tried in my research, Hoko Life and my time at Portia and several others. There's just something about Coral Island that just feels right, and I hope that you can forgive me for keeping this secret, and also for it being just so different from anything else that I normally cover. I do love a good cozy game. Usually they're on my Switch, something that I can like snuggle up with on the sofa while having coffee or tea or whatever. So I don't normally talk about them too often, but I think that everyone does enjoy a good cozy game for every once in a while. So stay tuned. We will continue to do more Coral Island stuff because I just feel like I gotta get it out there. I just feel like I really need to talk about it because it was a surprise to me even how much I enjoy this game, and how much I do try to fit it into my day. No joke, I actually do play Coral Island while I'm in the lobbies waiting for a match in Overwatch. So it is possible to enjoy both ends of the gaming spectrum. So I think a lot of people don't necessarily like to disclose or talk about their love of cozy games because there's this perception that all those games only belong to babies or soft people or girls. And that's a whole other topic for a whole other video. But I'm just saying that there's a place for all of them in my life and in my library, and I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna have some more Coral Island stuff coming up. So thanks for listening. Thanks for keeping my secret, and until next time.